Maybe she should just stay in her lane and just keep writing books.
Pascal, you are now rocking with
J.K. Rowling is in trouble right now. She's under a lot of fire for her tweets about, that have been coming off quite transphobic.
Over the weekend, J.K. Rowling, of course, wrote the Harry Potter series, got a lot of criticism for a series of tweets that a lot of people interpreted as transphobic. She seemed to have been set off by an article on access to menstrual hygiene products during the global pandemic. And in that article, the author referred to people born as women as people who menstruate.
Yes. Hold on. I'm pulling up the tweet right now. So J.K. Rowling says...
Yeah, so she says, she started out by saying, people who menstruate, I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wombin, wimpund, womud. And then she said, if sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth. The idea that women like me, who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as women, i.e. to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived consequences, is a nonsense.
Wait, so let me, just so I can understand this fully, right? Just so I understand this fully, the second tweet, was that a continuation of the same of a thought of the previous tweet, or was that a response to
that was a continuation of the first tweet? Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, obviously, she's under a lot of fire. Like, the people are really siding on the LGBTQ side of things, even to the point where. Why I'm forgetting Harry Potter himself. What's his name? Shoot.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe, you know what I'm saying, is now getting on the side of basically saying that trans women are women. And so there is a lot of back and forth going on. Now, if I'm correct, I think she did come out with a response tweet about that, if I'm correct, and where she was trying to clear things up a little bit.
Third tweet here where she says, I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it's hateful to say so. So not really an apology, more of a double.
Not really. Yeah. That is not an apology by any way, shape, or form. That was my bad that you think this is what, you think that this is transphobic, but I'm sorry, I'm speaking on the confines of being a woman. Here it is. Maybe JK needs to really start saying, I just should just keep to writing books. Maybe she should just stay in her lane and just keep writing books and just keep her mouth shut. I mean, because this isn't the first time that she's opened her mouth on Twitter, and it's, where Twitter's just gone ablaze about her thoughts in her tweets and all that stuff. She has said many, many controversial things via tweet, So in my personal opinion, you need to stay in your lane and just keep writing, sweetheart. Keep making your millions and billions of dollars off of your books. You're really good at that. Stay in that lane. No one's going to go and buy your books no more. If you start continuing to just get yourself in trouble for the tweets that you put out, I'm sorry, but that's basically what it was. My bad, but I am still a woman, so.
Yeah,
What do you think?
it's odd to see, because this isn't the first time she's kind of waded into these waters. This is not the first time, and I sympathize with her to some degree, that she wants to maintain female identity, but at the same time,
But wait a second.
This is your hill to die on. It's very strange.
Yeah, but then it's like, wait a second. If she's trying to identify, what did you just say? Repeat that last phrase you said about identify as woman.
She's trying to defend her
womanhood.
Her womanhood, or by saying, I was born a woman, I menstruate,
Right, but now here's the thing. Who's to say that trans women don't feel the same way?
Right.
Just because they were born a male, doesn't mean that inside that they feel that they are women.
Exactly
so,
right.
In a way, she shouldn't be saying that. Because that should be saying that she should be saying that for all women, trans and biological women alike. And just keep it at that. Her apology tweet could have been said. She could have just put in, went in and edited something and then put in all women alike, or trans women and women alike, whatever. There's a lot of trans women out there that have been identifying themselves as women for a very, very long time and still identify themselves right now as women. Just because they don't menstruate does not mean that they are not a woman. It does not mean that they don't identify themselves as women. Then also, you got to remember, think about this, the discrimination that they're getting for one, not only just being a woman, but also being a trans woman. That's some heavy stuff.
Yep.
That's a lot.
I just think it's very odd that she up until this, and again, this isn't the first time she's talked about it, this wading into the trans debate. I mean, how much goodwill had she accrued, up until this point, being the author of the Harry Potter series and making reading cool again. I mean, my niece has read those books like 7 or 8 times now. It's ridiculous. But why? I mean, if she privately feels this way, that trans people are infringing on, old school women's rights arguments, if she feels like, that the voice of women that were naturally born women is being overshadowed by trans, I don't know. Not every thought you have needs to be tweeted out. Maybe that's something you keep privately to yourself. So you don't squander goodwill. And I mean, I don't know if my niece, who's read these book series 8 times over, is aware of what J.K. Rowling is saying on Twitter, but I don't know. I mean, I get it. She's a woman. She's entitled to her views on femininity. I'm a man. I'm not in that same way at all.
Right. No.
That being said, it just seems an awkward hill to die on, to keep bringing this up to the point where, like, the guy that played Harry Potter is like, yeah, I don't agree with this woman.
Yeah, he's like, you made me a star, a woman who wrote these books, but nah, all women are women. Trans women are women too. You know what I mean? And he, it's crazy that it's splitting the divide. It's like that scene in the crappy Star Wars trilogy that we dare not speak of. It's like, you are the chosen one. You are, it's like you're fighting uphill. You're gonna die, man. Anakin, don't try it. Just don't do it. You are the chosen one.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.